All right. Now I'm fully set up. Now the next part of the objective, if we had guys with weird setups or deployment options like scouts and things, we'd do that. Neither of us have that. So now we go to setting up the objectives themselves.
Yep.
We have these cool objective tokens, which Alex can probably tell us something cool about them.
Yep. So we have generic Warzone Eternal objective markers. These plus all of the tokens, there you go, were produced by Muson Minis. Muson Minis will be producing tokens, counters, etc. For the Kickstarter. We're also playing on a tabletop filled with Muson Minis pre-printed MDF buildings.
Yeah.
Super modular, super customizable in the way you set them up. So thank you, Muson Minis.
All right. So you actually the way that the way the objectives work in this particular scenario is you start with one objective in the very center of the board. Objectives are 40mm bases. We have one in the center of the board, and then we alternate back and forth, setting up a total of 4 more, at least between 10 and 12 inches away from another objective, and at least 6 inches away from any other objective. Alex finished setting up his guys first, so he gets to place the first objective.
So we're going to put one that is convenient to me. Place it right up top here.
All right, and I will go ahead and I'm going to also be convenient, but I'm going to be convenient in a way that I'm going to try and bait his guys out in a way so they can get a little more. Well, that's not really going to work for me. All right, so yeah, so we're going to put one way over here. It's far enough away from most of his force that I should be able to grab it at some point and hold on to it. That's the goal anyway. All right.
And then for my last one, we are going to... That's way too far. We're going to put an easy one for me.
All right. Now, my first... I was thinking about putting one back here so the Razid can sit there and put his foot on it. But I know he's going to attract a lot of firepower, and I don't want to lose that option super early. So I'm actually going to put one over here in Necromutant land and see if I can grab onto that instead. Maybe. We'll see. All right. So now all of our objectives are out. We, on the very first turn of a Warzone Eternal game, there is no initiative rule. The person who was handed their deployment zone is the one that just gets the first turn.
Correct.
And in the case of the first turn, you get to choose a model and start taking actions.
Absolutely. All right, so the giant Razid staring me down and trying to limit his offensive capabilities is a priority. So we're going to activate first our Blood Beret support with the Southpaw rocket launcher. When a model is activated, you will place an activation token on it to denote that that model has been activated this turn, can't activate again. So we'll place that activation token on the model. When a model is activated, it has 2 actions it can perform. So because I want to get as tight as possible to this cover here in order to take advantage of cover bonuses, first action is going to be just to move slightly, get into base-to-base contact with that terrain. Second action is to send a rocket-propelled grenade into the Razid's face. All measurements are edge of base to edge of base, so we are looking at just over 23 inches.
Okay.
With the Southpaw rocket launcher, over 23 inches would put that model or put that shot at long range. A Blood Beret starts out with a missile weapon score of 13. Long range is a -3. And
specifically for the Southpaw.
For the Southpaw, correct.
Each weapon has its own stat line as far as like benefits and special traits and things like that.
Yep. And the Southpaw also, being a giant weapon, has a recoil penalty. So unless I spend an action to brace myself, that becomes another negative penalty that I have to incur. So I moved. So this is just kind of a shot off the hip as I step forward. So total of -6. The Razid is a giant model. It has a defensive modifier of +2, which means it's actually easier to hit.
I'm a much easier target than a random person or someone who's a little more scooty or agile, able to dodge and things.
So a total of -4. Ballistic skill or missile weapon score of 13 gives me a 5. So I needed 9 or under. 5 is a hit.
All right.
So that Razid has taken a rocket right to the face.
That particular weapon, the Southpaw, also has an explosive trait of 3, which means it's centered on his face because I just took it to the grill. 3 inches in every direction. I could possibly be hitting that explosion could hit someone else. I've got no one nearby the Razid, so he's just going to take it to the face by himself.
Yep. All right. So what's the armor value on your Razid?
Armor on the Razid is a 24.
24. The Southpaw rocket launcher is damage 13.
So 24 minus 13, meaning an 11. I need an 11 or less to avoid being hurt by this. A 1, however, is going to be fine. He brushes that off. It's no big deal.
Yes.
Depending on, I'm sure we'll see more of failing your armor saves. That will actually cause different levels of injury, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we will. All right. So with that, my Blood Beret is activated, and it goes back to Brian.
All right, I'm actually going to start with my Centurion, who's the leader of my force. In Warzone Eternal, every force that you have, you must have at least one model that is a leader. He's the one that brought it to brought you to this mission. He's not necessarily like who you have to have doing stuff. He's just necessary to be as part of the force. Centurions are leaders for undead legionnaires and little necromutant friends. So he is actually going to take his first action to do a leader action to try and get this necromutant to activate immediately after him. It gives me a little bit more, run to cover, get out of the way of all these impending rockets and things. So I will put the activated token on him. And now he has to make a leadership test. Centurion's leadership is a 13, so he needs a 13 or less to successfully give orders effectively to that necromutant. That would be a 20, so that would be a failure. So that first action is wasted, which is great, let me tell you. And then for his last action, he's just going to move and get up a little into cover. The move on a Centurion is 5, but I'm only going to need 4 of it to get where I want to go. So we'll come here and not get shot, hopefully, by anyone else. Because I failed that leadership check, another necromutant does not get to go.
That's right. All right, so then it comes back to me. So with control territory missions, you score by holding objectives on turns 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah.
So it's important to make sure that you've got at least 1 or more objective tokens by that first turn, because that could tip the battle when it comes to further turns in. So we are going to activate our basic Blood Beret right here.
While Alex is moving his Blood Beret, we're talking about objectives. So the scenario itself has how you score these points, but there's also a primary victory condition. In Grab Territory, we both have the same primary victory condition. If at the end of a scoring turn, we control 4 out of 5 of the objectives. So we've got our guys on 4 objectives out of the 5, and the other person does not control or doesn't have any more models to take away that control, then it's an automatic victory. The primary side has scored the game, and he gets to walk away happy because he managed to checkmate his opponent. That's very difficult to do. They're designed very specifically to kind of force us to try and battle it out.
So my Blood Beret activated, moved forward, got into contact with the objective marker, and is going to end its turn there. So activation marker on it to show that it's done.
All right. I think my Tormentor is relatively safe. I can move the thing he's standing on. I think my Tormentor is relatively safe. He's going to go ahead and activate and more or less just run. They have a movement of 4. So we will go here. And then I don't think I can get within 2 inches. So one of the things that infantry in Warzone can do, at the end of their activation, if they're within 2 inches of terrain feature, they can snap to cover. They basically kind of like dive over to get into where, hopefully they're protecting themselves a little better. I don't really see any reason to be too worried, honestly. There's no one over there that can see me. I think I'm in a pretty safe spot. So there's nowhere. I'm not going to cut my movement short or anything like that. I'm just going to run him out there and keep heading towards where all those tasty humans are.
So for those of you who remember first edition Warzone, snap to cover is specifically in the game to replicate one of the standard tactics in there. In first edition Warzone, you had 3 actions, and oftentimes you would move, shoot, and move back into cover. Maintaining a 2-action game, the snap to cover free action allows you to do something similar. You can still move, take a shot, and then snap back into cover to try to protect yourself. All right, so back to me. We are going to start spreading out this force here. Although that Razid is going to sit there waiting for me to do exactly that. So we're not going to spread this force out yet. So we are going to come in here with our Golden Lion Demolition Specialist, or Grenadier. Move there. Second action is going to move to there.
Still have no one that can see him. So in Warzone Eternal, there are reactions that you can take based off of what your opponent is doing. And one of those reactions is when someone finishes their activity, I might be able to take a shot at them or something along those lines. But I have absolutely no one that can do that. That's right. There are big buildings in our way, and that's just not going to happen. All right, so let's go ahead and give me another activated token. And I'm going to have this little friend over here. He is just going to run up twice and then probably snap to cover to get a little closer. So there's his second move, and then I will snap to get right to there. Touch that building. Oh, and throw the activated token really far.
All right, we're going to go with another Golden Lion. Start creating some concentration of force on one side here.
All right, let's start this off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and activate the Razid. He has a move of 4, but he's just going to kind of saddle over as close as I can because I think I might be able to draw a line of sight to... No, I can't. Never mind. That is not going to help me. All right, well, you know what? I have already done said things, so I'm going to fire my Hellblaster at that Southpaw. All right. Now, the Southpaw has a base defense of -1. My missile weapon for a Razid starts at 12, so that already makes me an 11. Yep. He is in heavy obstruction because half of his model is covered, so that makes it an additional -4. Blood Berets have the camouflage special trait, which adds another minus. So we're sitting at a -6 altogether. And then my Hellblaster at long range is another -1. So I have a -7 to hit that guy up there. But I have a 2-inch explosion, and I could get real lucky. So we have my missile weapon of 12, -7. I need a 5 or less to have this actually sit right on his pretty little hat. That is a 17. So that will miss by a factor of 12. Yep. Which, because it's an explosion, explosions scatter. It doesn't just evaporate into midair. So we will figure out where that goes in a second. However, every shooting weapon in Warzone Eternal has an ammo characteristic. The ammo characteristic is a number that if you roll that number or higher, hit or miss, your clip has run dry. In the case of a Hellblaster, my ammo number is 17. So my wonderful friend, because even though he missed, we haven't figured out whether or not that's going to do anything, I will be out of ammo until I take an action to reload. All right, now I missed by 12.
So with an explosive weapon, the amount that you miss by your target number, that's the distance that the target, the ultimate placement of that explosion scatters.
And because this is a D20 based game, you have these convenient little triangles on all of your sides. So what you do is you grab another D20, take it by over where it was going to hit, roll it, and that's going to go way off. So the arrow on that top number goes that way, 12 inches. Explosion lands over there. There's no one over there. It does nothing.
That's right.
Would have been really nice if it would have landed in your pack of guys.
Now, Brian mentioned reactions. So I will now react. There's a thing called a counterattack reaction. And after an enemy model has struck you with, or made an attempt to strike you with a melee attack, or shot at you with a ranged attack, you are allowed to respond as long as you do not have a reaction token on you already. He does not, so we'll throw that reaction token on, and we're going to counterfire, sending another rocket back. We're still at long range, still have the recoil penalty, so we're still at a -6, +2 because of his size, total of a -4, missile weapon score of 13, again, 9 or under. And again, wildly inaccurate.
All right, so that's going to be it's a 7-inch scatter.
Yep, 16.
And it's going to go 7 inches. Ooh, that's going to clip. That's bad for me. Well, there's 2 people there. So it's center to right there.
Yep.
And it's got the 3-inch on the little widget. It's got my Centurion, which he's unhappy with, but it does not. Thankfully, it does not get the other Necromutant. But the Centurion did get hit in the back. He's not happy about that.
I will take that. So again, the Southpaw rocket launcher is damage 13.
Centurions have an armor of 22, so I need a 9 or less to avoid being hurt by this. A 15. Now, that is a failure by 6. And in the case of the damage, there's a damage table involved that if depending on how far you miss your armor save by, if you miss it by 1 through 5, you don't take any damage, but you do take a pinned token, so I will get one of those. And pinned keeps you from reacting unless you have something special going on. However, I failed it by more than that. I failed it by 6 to 10, and that gives me a wounded token. Now, in the case of most models, most infantry have 1 wound. So that's just where it is. Centurions are special. They're a little extra tough. Algaroth builds them tougher. So he has 2 wounds, so I place a wound marker next to him and nothing else special happens. As soon as you have wound tokens equal to your wound characteristic, all of that overage when you pass up an armor save, when you fail an armor save, that overage is doubled. So it's much easier to kill an opponent once you've whittled them down. Now it's possible you could have a 1 wound guy who has stacked on 5 wounds and he's just basically riddled with bullets because the dice have fallen that way. It's just not likely that that's going to happen. More than likely he's probably going to get toasted at some point.
All right, and with that, since that was a reaction to your action, it's now back to me for my activation. The nice thing is that Razid is not only activated, he's also out of ammo. So that does mean that it gives me a window to try to scatter past him before he's able to reload. So we're going to take advantage of that, and we are going to take our Golden Lion LMG Light Machine Gun Support Specialist, and we are going to start hightailing it to the other side of the table.
All right. Let's go ahead and drop things everywhere. That one Necromutant who almost just got hit by a mistaken Southpaw, he is going to come back this way and take 2 quick movements, and then snap to cover to get to that edge there.
All right. So yeah, last normal blood ray was going to once, twice, and then use the 2-inch snap to cover ability to bump up into cover.
I like to think the snap to cover is like a baseball slide. Like the run,
All right.
All right. My last Necromutant, we'll call him Henry. Henry will go here. I've still got no firing whatsoever.
Well, he was called Henry until the Techrons got a hold of him and turned him into a Necro.
Added a bunch of Necrotech to it.
That's right.
And so 4, and then we'll snap to cover around the corner. It's not a great place to be, but it's better than nothing.
All right. My last activation is my Blood Beret Sergeant, the leader of my force, who is going to move forward there. Is going to move to there. And with that, Imperial has been fully activated.
So has Dark Legion. So that is the end of turn 1. The last thing we do in turn 1 is we clear off the activated, reactivated tokens plus any other special abilities. In the case of the Razid, if he was pinned, he actually gets to get rid of that pin. He's not pinned. He's just got no gun. He's got no bullets. All right, so we also get to go ahead and score the objectives. Now, at the end of scoring round 1, I have nothing held currently.
And I have 1 objective marker.
So you have a victory point.
1 victory point. You could also score victory points by defeating models that are your special models, right? Every model in the game has a deployment point cost and a specialist point cost. Defeating models that have a specialist point cost will award you additional victory points. So far, this has been a bloodless battle.
No, well, I've got a Centurion who's bleeding. He's just not happy with it. And then now we go into turn 2. Now, unlike the first turn that the initiative was determined by deployment, there's actually an initiative roll. And the initiative roll in this is a d20, adding your current victory point total and number of pinned models that you have. And so in this case, I have 1 pinned model, and you have 1 victory point. Mm-hmm. So it is d20. I have a total of 16.
I have a 3.
Making yours a total of 4.
Yep.
Low roller goes first. Again, always want low rolls here.
Yes. All right. We are going to... Now, in this scenario, there is no scoring in turns 2 or 4.
Yeah.
So grabbing objective markers right now is less important than using this turn to reposition yourself.
I like to call these bloodshed rounds.
All right. Let's start with that. Let's see if Southpaw here can do its job this time. So we are again going to send a rocket towards that Razid. Now, because I don't have to move, I don't have to reload, I've got 2 actions available, so I'm actually going to aim with my Southpaw rocket launcher. Aiming gives me a +4 to hit, and it increases the damage multiplier by 1. We'll explain what the damage multiplier is in a second. So, same thing as before. Missile weapon 13, -3 for recoil, -3 for range, but +4 for aiming. So only a -2 this time, meaning a total of an 11 or under in order to hit.
Okay, that would be a 14. So that's going to miss, but it only misses by 3 inches.
Yep.
And because the Southpaw is a 3-inch blast, he's still going to clip me.
Yep.
I just have to hope that he doesn't clip that Necromutant that's over here off to the side.
And because it's a miss, the damage multiplier that I would have gotten for the aim goes away. It's only if you actually hit a target with your aim shot that you get that. So, same thing, damage 13.
Well, you got direction.
Oh, that's right. So it's going 3 inches.
Right towards that Necromutant. Okay.
I had not even thought.
Okay, so it's going to click. It's going to get them both. There's no question.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. This is why we play these games. All right, so we'll start with the in my opinion, the more important fellow.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll do the Razid. He is an armor 24. Damage was 13, so I need an 11 or less to avoid being hurt. There's a 5. He doesn't care. Brushes it off, which we're going to get to that in just 1 second. The Necromutant, however, is an armor 22, so I need a 9 or less to avoid being injured. And a 16 is 7 more than my armor. That puts me past wounded and into insta-gib. I have been... The rocket blew up, and poor Steven here is no more.
So to recap the way damage works again, any failures from a 1 to a 5 results in you becoming pinned and taking a wound counter. It's only results where you failed the test by 6 or more that you're immediately killed if you have a number of wound counters equal to the wound value of that model. Necromutants only have 1 wound, so the first time a Necromutant fails an armor save by 6 or more, they are just automatically removed. So kind of traditional 1 wound effects.
All right, so Steven, my poor Necromutant, is no more. However, you did shoot at the Razid, who is going to go ahead and take a... I'm going to go ahead and take my reaction now. I'm going to take a shot back at you. I'm going to do a counter strike. Oh, I can't. I can't because of my gun is out of ammo.
That's right.
And I can't react to reload. So
That's right.
Sad. That is a sad moment for the Dark Legion. I just envision he's just clicking his empty gun as you.
With anger.
Yeah, he's just grunting. It's like, oh yeah.
All right, so that was my activation, though, so it's back to you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this Tormentor in a position that. So we're gonna go ahead and move, and go ahead and move, and then just gonna get me in a nice position where I'm still within an inch. So I'm still claiming that, but I'm hopefully not. I'm not in a way to get that plasma carbine in the face.
All right, back to me. All right, we are then going to... We're going to move once with our Golden Lion LMG Specialist. We'll then snap to cover for 2 inches. And then third action, we are going to pop a couple shots at that Necromutant there.
Okay.
So, a light machine gun is a burst 2 weapon, which means that for each shoot action I perform, I get to make 2 attack rolls. You resolve those in order, so if the first one results in an ammo or an out of ammo result, you don't get your second shots. So, in this case, we have got a missile weapon score of 14 for Golden Lions. We are 8 inches away, which puts me in short range for the light machine gun, which has therefore no range penalty. No defensive score.
Necromutants have a defensive 0.
So we are at 14, but generally all burst weapons have, just like the Southpaw, some level of recoil that you can accommodate or you can make up for by taking brace actions. In this case, I just have to shoot off the hip. That's a -2, so I need a 12 or under. So the first shot.
Okay, so this is a great moment. So not only is that a 20, which is a ammo. His belt has run dry, so he's not going to get that second action or that second shot. But should this have been his first action, it also would have been the end, because that's a fumble. That's a sad, sad moment. All right, and I think because you're right there, I'm going to go ahead and because unlike my Razid, he has bullets. I will go ahead and shoot back at you as a reaction. We'll do a counter assault or a counter attack. You are. Can I see your tape measure, please? I want to make sure. I'm pretty sure you're within 12. Oh wait, you're 8. We just figured that out.
Yep.
My Belzorak assault rifle. Short range is up to 12 with no modifier to hit. Missile weapon on a Necromutant is 11. You have a better sight there. I'm pretty much out in the open.
There's no cover, and I have no defensive modifier.
All right, so I need an 11 or less to clip you with my reaction fire. There's a 6. That'll hit. Damage on a Belzorak is 14. Big, fat Dark Legion bullets.
There's a big gun. Armor of 22, which means I need an 8 or under. No cover bonuses, nothing else to protect me. That's failing by 7, which plucks her off the table.
All right. And because that is a specialist model, I will score the secondary objective of tactical targets and get myself a couple of victory points.
In this scenario,
In this particular scenario.
for each specialist point that a model you defeat is worth, you get twice that number in victory points. So LMG specialist, 1 specialist point, 2 victory points for Brian.
Which hopefully makes up for that first round of me not thinking about objectives. All right, so that was my reaction.
Yep.
So now it actually goes to me as my regular turn, and I think this Necromutant is going to go ahead and go. He is really just going to kind of run around the corner here and get himself into a nice position to take this objective, or potentially take this objective. Put a little activated token next to him. All right, he is all set and ready.
All right. In Warzone Eternal, you can always measure as long as you're not interrupting your opponent's turn inappropriately. But if you need to determine how far you can move before you make a move, you are free to do so.
These guys are seasoned warriors. They know roughly how far they can run in a few seconds. They know, when their lungs are going to give out unless someone reacts to them and puts a bullet in it.
We're going to move this Golden Lion to here. And then we are going to, this is our Golden Lion Grenadier. We are now going to throw a plasma grenade at that Tormentor.
I'm not happy about that. I will go ahead and because if I survive this, I could shoot back, but I think I want to survive it more, so I'm going to duck for cover, which is a reaction that just adds 2 to my armor. After you've been targeted by a shot, you throw a reaction token on them, and they hopefully will survive this.
All right, so plasma grenade, we're looking at a up to my strength. My strength is 6. Will be short range, so it's not. So it's long range. So we unfortunately have a -3. Not particularly accurate when you're throwing them as far as you can. So that takes missile weapon 14 down to an 11. He also has cover, and he's heavy cover, so brings it down to a 4. So now I need a 7 or
heavy obstruction.
Heavy obstruction.
Yeah.
Thank you. And once again, Imperial has demonstrated that they are incapable of connecting with their enemy. So that was a 14. Misses by 7. Plasma grenade does have a explosive area. So it is going to deviate 7 inches.
I don't think it's going to go... And it scatters off to where you can't see. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's basically, it's going to just going to roll over there and do nothing. Would be nice, but that's okay. All right, that's them. What do I got left? I got the Centurion, and he hasn't actually gone yet. He just reacted. And then I have the Razid, who I think is still... I'm still going to wait on him. Even though he has to do some reloading. I kind of want to... Well, maybe. Now, you know what? I'm going to go with him. I'm going to go ahead and activate him. First turn will be to reload. Second turn, he's going to climb this ladder and get up on higher ground.
Okay.
So you can see just a little bit better. But more importantly, now he has bullets again.
Yeah. When you perform a climb action, you have to be close to the item you're going to climb. You can move vertically up to half your move distance, unless there's a ladder or other thing that you have designated as climbable, at which point you can move your entire move distance straight up. All right. We need to start positioning ourselves a little bit better for some objective markers. So we are going to move 1 action to the base of the ladder. Second action, we're going to climb to get to the top. Unfortunately, that is... Oh, nope, just enough.
Oh, you should be able to snap too.
And I will snap to cover to get back here. Make sure that Razid doesn't
doesn't
funnel a shot down between those towers.
Yeah. All right. And let's go ahead and I don't think since that guy's already gone, I think I can go ahead and move him safely. Get a little closer. So we will. Yeah, we're just gonna basically move and then move. But I'm going to try and stay back so that southpaw can't see me just yet. I don't feel like getting southpawed again.
I would not if I were you. All right. We are going to activate this golden line back here, who's actually going to double back.
Oh, getting up on the stairs.
See if we can get some elevated line of sight and make that Necromutant Tormentor feel some panic.
All right, so I'll get up my Centurion. So his first turn, or first action, because he started the action as pinned, he has to take, he doesn't have a choice. He has to take a rally action, which just gets rid of your pinned. Boop. And now he has a move of 5 for his second action. Kind of don't want to just stay back here, but I also don't want to just have him stand out in the open to get blasted. So yeah, let's go ahead and 5 is not going to get me close enough to snap to anything. So yeah, he's just going to basically come over here and take that, hold that objective, and not the most courageous of Centurion moves, but I got to think about the scenario in this instance.
That's right. All right, we're going to start off. We're going to snap to cover with this Blood Beret. Second action, we are going to climb to the top. And third action, we are going to move to here.
Okay. Another Bloodbraid and super heavy covers.
That's right.
Obstruction and stuff.
That's right. Once Bloodbraids hold a position, they are very difficult to dislodge.
That's very true. All right. Yeah, so that's it for me.
All right, so I've got one more. So we are going to then activate my leader, who is going to fall back to this objective to make sure that I'm still holding it.
All right, so end of the turn. No one is controlling 4 objectives. We don't score the regular objectives. We've already scored the casualty part of the secondaries. So now we sweep the tokens and start turn 3.
Yep.
So we get rid of activated and reactivated tokens, if I can pick them up. All right. And then, all right, start of turn 3. I'm currently at 2 victory points. You are currently at 1. Oh, I was looking for your die. I have nobody currently pinned, and neither do you.
Pinned. Yep.
All right, so I have a total of 16.
A total of 7. Right. Apparently, I cannot shoot, but Imperial seizes the initiative over and over and over. Which, again, that's another first edition reference there for you. All right. We do not want this guy right here messing us up anymore. So we are going to we are going to activate this guy, step up to the edge, and just aim that submachine gun straight down.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take an ambush shot before I die. But if I get lucky. Now, so unlike a counterattack, which required he would have to shoot me first, I can name an ambush. An ambush is somebody who, moves or charges within my ability to see them. I spend both an activated and a reaction token, but then I get to take that shot first. So we're going to flame throw up so a Tormentor is a projected weapon. Flamethrowers, certain magic spells, breath weapon of like a scary thing that might puke, horrible corrosive guts at you. What that does is that it takes the base width of the model, in this case 30 millimeters, and it extends all the way out to the range of the gun. The attack. In this case, the Tormentor flamethrower goes out to 10 inches. So it's just basically going to create a 10-inch stripe straight forward, which sadly is not more than one guy, but I'll take the one guy. And in that range, the Tormentor flamethrower is +3 to hit. And because it is a projected instance, it ignores obstruction. Basically, flamethrowers are designed to get people out of cover.
And Golden Lions have no defensive modifier.
So I'm looking, my missile weapon is an 11, +3 for the weapon. I need a 14 or less. Any other weirdness? Nope. Okay, just making sure. That would be a 16. So that is sadly a miss. So my reaction, my ambush is done. He may then continue his activation.
Yep. So the Golden Lion now will aim that interceptor submachine gun straight down at the errant necromutant. Missile weapon of 14 to start. The interceptor submachine gun is short range up to 6 inches, at which point it has no negative modifiers. That's well within 6 inches. Necromutant has no defensive modifier, so it's a straight shot with a missile weapon of 14. It's a submachine gun, which has 2 shots, so it's a burst weapon, and it does have a recoil, just like most burst weapons, of 1. Meaning total, 14 minus 1, 13, 2 shots. Resolved in order. Once again, missed.
What is the ammo on that gun?
Ammo on the Interceptor is a 20.
Okay.
Or 19, sorry.
Keeping him honest.
Yes. There we go.
The 8 will hit. How much is the bullet
Interceptor
damage?
is damage 12.
Damage 12. The Necromutant is armor 22. In this instance, my cover is irrelevant because he's above me. There's nothing between us.
And because he's already reactivated,
I can't duck for cover any further. What you said damage was
12.
12 to my 22, so I need a 10 or less. All right, so that would be a 20, which means I failed it by
more than 6.
More than 6. I only have 1 wound. I am a really bad dead guy. All right, well, sad. All right.
And because that was a specialist.
That was a specialist who is worth, the Tormentor is worth 1 specialist point as well as 1 deployment point, so you get 2 victory points.
2 victory points, getting me up to 3.
Grrr. All right. Well, that was the thing. All right. Let's see. I don't want to shoot my Razid so close to one of my Necromutants that he gets hit. That would be an unfortunate instance. So what I think we're going to do is we are going to go ahead, and that Southpaw is really scary. He's very hard to hit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and aim and fire at him to try and make that a little bit better.
Okay.
So first action is aim. Oh, I got to activate him. So first action is aim, second action is fire. You are well within the 36-inch range of the Hellblaster.
Yep. But at long range.
But at long range, which the Hellblaster is -1 to hit. So heavy obstruction for 4, camouflage for 5, long range for 6, and
defensive modifier of
defensive modifier of 1. So it's -7 to hit this guy. Now I aimed, bringing that down to a total of -3.
Yep.
My the Razid is missile weapon of 12, so I need a 9 or less to have this hit on target. A 9 on the right on the nose. The Hellblaster is a 2-inch blast, but there's really no one else around him.
Nobody.
So it's just going to be that cat, and the damage is 13. Now, Hellblaster does have a really cool trait called Vicious that doesn't do anything in this instance. If he was wounded, I would actually have a higher damage capability because he's already hurt, and the Hellblaster is designed to cause even more pain through all of my Dark Legion necroscience magic.
But you did aim, so it's actually damage 13 times 2, meaning that I need to make 2 successful armor saves in order to avoid taking damage. So damage 13, and we got an armor of 22 on my Golden Lions, or Blood Berets, but I am in cover, which gives me +2. So total of 24 minus 13, 11. 11, I need to make 2 successful armor saves. There's 1, and that's a failure by more than 6. 1 wound model. Obliterated.
And that is another specialist model, so I am going to score a couple of points. All right. Good job. You've earned your name. Your name is now Johan. You are Johan the Razid.
All right. Well, with that unfortunate turn of events, we are going to... So right here, with my Blood Beret standing up top, he's going to shoot directly down. Now, I don't have the ability to move to the edge of this terrain because of the barricade in the way, meaning that I cannot see fully all of this model. So this model is going to end up receiving obstruction, even though he's almost directly below me. We are going to take 2 shots. We are at point-blank range with the Invader Assault Rifle, which is no negative modifier. Missile weapon of 13 to start. No defensive modifier on the Necromutant.
Necromutants have no defense, so he's out in the open.
But he does have heavy obstruction because I cannot see more than 50%, and he's in base-to-base contact with the thing that's giving him that obstruction. Yeah. So that means I need a 9 or under. First shot.
So remember how I said that your first action could possibly end things? You're out of ammo.
Yep, I'm out of ammo. Yep.
So now he's not going to be able to take that second shot, even though he really wanted to. But if he could clear the... He could use his second action to clear the, slap a new clip in there.
Or what I can do in proper Hollywood fashion is pull out the pistol and immediately shoot downward at you.
It's true.
So we will do that instead. The pistol is still, we're so close range, there's no change to the target number that I need. There's no modifier for the pistol. And that's an 18. So he is completely flummoxed. Fortunately, the pistol doesn't run out of ammunition, but he is done.
So that is one of the benefits of some of the different models that might have multiple weapon categories.
Yep.
You could possibly run out of one and then still be able to rely on a sidearm, or if you've got, let's say for instance, the Scythe of Samai that has multiple ways to fire. You might be able to not shoot the light machine gun version, but the flamethrower is still there to do its job.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
Now, in this case, I could react to that, but that's not that's not really what I'm into at the moment. I think what I'm going to do is we are going to have this Centurion over here. He is going to let me see the tape measure. I want to make sure that so that big gun of his, that big pistol, that Vorish handgun, has actually up to 18-inch range. It's like a combination of it's like a hand cannon, really. You are well within range. So is that guy, but he's a really hard target. So I think this cat is going to be who gets my initial shot. Is it actually Vorish is up to 6 is short, so you're not in short. No. Now, because that hand cannon does have a recoil of 1, because it is just a big beefy gun, I'm going to go ahead and brace to get rid of that recoil.
Okay.
So we will brace and then take that shot. All right. So Vorish out to long range is +0 to hit, so it's normal there. I've gotten rid of the recoil because I braced. Centurion is a missile weapon of 12. You are out in the open.
And have no defensive modifier.
No defensive modifier, so I'm looking at a 12 or less. That would be a 19, and the ammo on Vorish is, in fact, a 19. So he has shot wildly and ran out of ammo. But I would rather that happen than. He is going to take a counterattack.
Exactly. Now that Golden Lion has survived the onslaught, he's going to respond by shooting back with a counterattack. Counterattacks, again, can only be performed after the enemy has completed their attack process, but still within the same action. All reactions happen within the course of a model's action. So, returning fire, we are going to be at long range with the Interceptor submachine gun, which is -3. Burst recoil -1 is a total -4.
Centurions are actually really adept fighters. They're defensive -1.
So a total of -5. Missile weapon 14. I still get 2 shots because it's a burst weapon. So I need a 9 or under. That is a 5, followed by a miss.
Right,
16.
So I am hit once.
You are hit once.
What is the damage on that again? So it's 10.
Damage is at 12.
12
on the Interceptor submachine gun.
Centurions have an armor of 22. So I'm looking at a 10 or less. Now, I do have, even though I have a wound characteristic of 2, I do have a wound marker on me. So depending on how this goes, this could be bad for me. Like a 20, for instance. That is also, that could be very bad. So, it adds my second wound, bringing me to 0, and also counts for that whole super dead thing. So, I'll miss him.
All right. And that's an important model. That's his leader.
That is a leader. He was one of my 2 wound guys.
With 2 specialist points.
Oh,
right?
yeah. He's so that's a big jump in points for you.
Yep, that takes me from 3 to 7.
And takes me off of an objective. That was a rough instance. I need to do some damage here. All right, but that was actually my turn. That was his reaction that did that. So
we're going to activate this Golden Lion here. It's going to move.
His flank looks really sad.
He's going to snap to cover. And then is going to move another 4 to here.
He's going to take that objective.
Yep.
Yeah, not too happy about that. All right, so that one, you're over there. Yeah, let's have you do a thing. You already activated, so I can't do you. All right. So we've got the this Necromutant over here. I think I'm going to. Yeah, wow. I think he's going to come around the corner here. So he's going to activate. We're going to, goes over there. He's going to go ahead and activate. I'm going to move around, so I'm by the edge of the ladder.
By the ladder, okay.
And then I'm actually going to take a shot at your leader over here, standing out in the open. You don't get to catch a blood beret in the open very often. So that is within 12, I assume. This short range on a Balzarak is 12 inches.
That is within 12.
So no modifier to hit there, but you do a -1 for your defense.
Yep.
So my 11 goes down to a 10. I need a 10 or less to hit you with a big fat Dark Legion bullet. Or a 17, which is not my ammo check, it's just a miss.
Yep.
So,
all right, I will.
Because this is a friendly game, you could react to that.
Well, I am deciding to. If I have a better use for my reaction, I don't think I do, so I am going to react. A Blood Beret Sergeant has a mandible shotgun, which is only a 12-inch range weapon, so not an ideal long-range weapon. But the nice thing is, we've already measured, we know we're within 12. So, long range, -3 for the shotgun. No negative modifiers for anything else. Cover, defensive modifiers, so just a straight up -3. Meaning, with a missile weapon of 13, I need a 10 or under. That is a miss.
Okay.
That's all right. That was just a shot off the head.
So it was a freebie.
All right, my turn. I am going to activate this guy up here. Stay close to the objective marker. But again, walk up to the edge and take a shot straight downwards. So, point blank range, no cover, no defensive modifiers. The Invader Assault Rifle has no bonus or negative modifier at close range, so it's a straight up dice roll, 13 or under.
That's a miss. All right.
Imperial's finest.
All right.
Now you, same thing, could react. If you want to.
Because I do not have a reaction
Do
token.
not have a
on it.
reaction token.
Yeah, I think I'm going to, if only because I can get lucky. I mean, you're much harder to hit because of all the obstruction and everything, but I will give it a shot. All right, so I have no modifier. You are -1 for your defense.
Yeah, that's it.
So because I can't see all of your base, you
That's
are still obstructed, so that camo is still coming into play.
Yep.
So it's going to be a really hard shot is really what it comes down to. It's like shooting at that southpaw before, so it's going to be effectively a -6 altogether, because unlike the last time, I don't have a range modifier.
Correct.
A 12 is not going to be enough. I need a 5. So that's just a shot and a miss.
That wouldn't have hit even if you had a perfectly clean shot.
Yeah.
All right. But that was my action, your reaction, so back to you.
All right. So I am going to go ahead and I think, did we nominate whether or not these, I mean, I know that we said they were climbable for the purposes of stairs. What about like the edges? Did we decide these terrain, were they climbable?
Yeah. So when you do perform a climb action, if there's no ladder there, you move up to half.
All right.
So sure. Yep.
So he is going to take his first action. He is going to climb up this wall to get to here, and his second action is going to be to charge.
So, oh, it's only a 2-inch building. Yep.
So, boop. All right, let's get some. I left an objective for this. All right, this is an Algaroth player. You know, it's coming out of me. Apostle of War and Murder. All right, so I have charged. I am using my close combat of a 12. Charge gives me a +1 to that. So I have a base of 13. The sectioner bayonet has an additional +1, making it a 14.
And I got a defensive modifier of -1.
So that brings it back down to a 13. So I have 13 or less to stab you with my bayonet.
That's a 13 exactly.
Thank you, Charge Bombs. All right. So the damage on the sectioner bayonet is a lot of close combat weapons are based off of your own strength. In this case, it is a strength +4. Necromutants, being Algaroth tough guys, have a strength of 6 to start. So it's actually a strength 10 hit stabbing you with this here bayonet.
And it has the thrust ability too.
Oh, it does.
Which means on the charge,
On the
does even more
charge,
damage.
when performing a strike action as part of a charge action, increase the damage of this weapon by X. Since this was the charge hit that hit, it increases by 3. So it's actually a damage 13. Stab in the gullet.
And I've got an armor of 22.
Oh, that's going to be enough.
I needed a 9. I got a 4.
Just glances off of those heavy Imperial pauldrons.
Yes, that's right. Our shoulder pads are big enough.
And and that's the end of my his action.
Well, I will react as you climb over the top, thrust your bayonet at me. I will turn around and attempt to shoot you back. That is a 2.
Man,
That is a
okay.
hit.
All right. Damage on that pistol.
Damage 12 on aggressor handgun.
The aggressor handgun is a 12. I'm an armor 22, so I need a 10 or less.
Oh.
We're good.
Never mind.
He is not fazed by this at all.
All right.
And that was my action.
Yep, back to me. We have got only my sergeant here, but he's holding an objective, so it just makes sense to turn around and blam blam, 2 long-range shots at this necromutant. Again, long range for a shotgun, -3 to hit. Missile weapon of 13. I need a 10 or under. First shot, first action. It's a miss. Second action, on the nose.
Yeah, all right.
Shotgun at long range is damage 10. Damage 12. Sorry,
Damage 12. Armor is 22, so I need a 10. A 17. I miss it by 7. That is another dead guy. Ugh. All right, so I'm getting plastered. All right. That is not great for me. Okay. That says the end of that turn. This is a scoring round.
Yep.
You have 1, 2, 3. So you get 3 victory points for that. And I lost the ones that I was holding because I got bloodthirsty and tried to kill you off of yours. Yeah, so we go into turn 4. Youch. All right. So I have we're going to, we got sweep tokens.
Yep. Again, only action and reaction tokens.
Am I really down to only 2?
You got one right here.
No, I mean 2 guys.
Oh, 2 guys. Yep.
Yeah. Whew. All right. Now, so one of the things that is cool, well, it's not really cool about losing, it is, so how many activations do you have on the board?
I currently have 5.
So when you're calculating your initiative modifiers, which is your pin tokens and victory points and things, for every 2 activations that he has more than I do, I get a pass token. Basically, it means that he can't just choose to run in the backfield until I'm out of guys. So in this case, I have 2 to your 5. So that's only, so even though it's 3 guys, it's still only 1 pass token. So I'm going to use this wonderful little black cube to remind me that I have a pass token that I can use. And now we roll the initiative.
That's right.
I have 4 victory points. You currently have 10. Nobody is pinned.
Correct. So just plus 6 for me, or plus 10 for me, plus 4 for you.
I 23.
11. Again, Imperial.
All right, the Imperial initiative. Yeah. All right. So your go.
All right. So there is a sudden death victory condition if at the end of a turn you control 4 objective markers. I've got 3, so trying to get a 4th one here would be ideal. So we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with this one right here. I don't want to give you
You're going to start out with.
Yeah, I shouldn't just stand here and allow you to punch me first.
All right.
So we will, again, attempt a melee action, a strike action, using my sidearm, because my primary weapon is still out of ammunition. So we've got a missile or a close combat score of 13. No negative modifiers of any sort here, so just a straight 13.
It is important to note that even though he's using a sidearm, it is a close combat attack. It is a strike action, and that's to simplify that. Even though he is still shooting me with a pistol, he has to deal with the fact that I'm trying to stab him and he's trying to get his guns around there. He's not actually just shooting me.
That's a hit,
but he is shooting me.
I am shooting him very well.
All right,
damage 12.
My 22. I need a 10 or less. Okay, all right. So, I don't even remember what your name was. You've lost your name. You're done. So in this case, I failed it by more than 6. 1 wound model. Insta-gib. Dead.
Absolutely. Second action, then, I will climb down. So you can move up to your movement distance, up or down, or half of your movement up or down, if there's no ladder, without taking fall damage. So I will move...
Barring some cool special traits that come on guys in the future.
That is true. Move down there, and that model is activated.
Like you might almost perceive maybe like a cool armored ninja running down that wall.
Yes, that's right. Armored ninja with kind of a squid face helmet.
It's got very angular.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I have 1 guy left. I have got my Razid. All right, we are gonna. I gotta get you off one of these objectives. So we're gonna go ahead and we are going to aim fire at that cat right there. Because of the 2-inch explosion, I might be able to get them both, which would be awfully nice. All right, so no defense modifier, standing out in the open, but I think there might still be. Oh no, I'm on higher ground now. So, oh no, you are a juicy golden lion target. All right, so yeah, I'm in long range, so it is -1 to hit, but adding 4, my missile weapon goes up to 16, down to a 15 for the range. No defense modifier in him, so I need a 15 or less to land this on his happy little hat. That'll be an 11.
That's a hit.
All right, so that is a hit after aiming, so that is going to be 13 times 2 in a 2-inch radius, which is going to get them both.
All right. So
I need this, guys. I need this.
22. The guy up top. That's a 1 and a 10. So he just misses it. Takes a pin counter and a wound.
This is one of those instances where he didn't fail it by enough to be completely just, obliterated.
Yep. But now, with the wound counter on me, any failures in the future get doubled. And this guy down here, same thing. 9, 7, 7. But I didn't succeed it by more than 5, so I'm still pinned. I just didn't take any damage.
Oh, that is not great. And that's, unfortunately, that's the end of my actions. He still has his reaction, and he's got ammo. I could get lucky.
Now, again, the reactions, though, are only going to trigger if
someone takes a shot at him.
Because with his activation counter already on him, he can't do an ambush. So even if I ran past, because the ambush requires an activation counter and a reaction counter. So as long as I don't shoot at him, which the objective, right, was for Imperial to secure 4 objectives, we have secured 4 objectives. So even though I have multiple activations left, we are not going to move.
So effectively what he's telling me here is, because I can't react to this and I know other guys, as long as he doesn't shoot at me, he can just kind of go move, done, move, done, move, done. And at this point, that is a checkmate victory. And that is fantastic. So Imperial, they might not have always been on target, but when they were on target, my armor failed me miserably. and Johan the Razid goes, he will walk home a sad sack of recycled materials.
Completely unblemished.
Unscathed. Yeah, not a single wound mark on him. But he's like, all my friends are gone. Awesome. That was fantastic. This is, what you've basically seen is how the basic scenario, the grab territory scenario, plays out. In this instance, I got pushed off of those objectives. I moved some of my guys. I got a little too aggressive in the beginning, hoping that I was going to be able to make up some of those points by my secondaries, those tactical targets, killing off those specialist troops, which I did kill the light machine gunner. I killed the southpaw. I was trying to, getting a leader, getting that grenadier. That would have just racked up a bunch of those secondary points and taken away bodies from him, so he wouldn't have been able to take those objectives. And then it's just almost a foregone conclusion. In this case, that did not work out for me.
Yep, Brian, I think that's exactly right. I think that's what happened. Imperial, I played somewhat conservative to start with, but once I saw where you were moving towards me in force, it allowed me to separate guys out. I did sacrifice a couple bodies, had hoped that they were going to be more effective, but they became juicy targets for you that you focused on, which allowed me to move forward and grab the objectives.
Absolutely.
Surviving that right there, though,
yeah,
that was the clincher, because failing that, I would not have been able to grab this, and then I would have still had to do something in order to try to gain more victory points here. And an unscathed Razid standing at the top of a building with a Hellblaster, that's not a simple thing to just simply ignore.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was
excellent.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And hopefully more to come with more fantastic. You'll get to see more factions in the future.
That's right. Yep. Imperial and Dark Legion are just the beginning of what we got. Kickstarter, you'll be seeing all 5 of your favorite mega corporations, Undead Legionnaires for the Dark Legion as well. And we've got plans for more.